Hey Jack, how long should you be stuck on a breakup?
1,000,000 years.
Never let go.
Well, I don't think you should be stuck on it at all because there are 330 million people in the United States. I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's people out there, like, if somebody breaks up with you, I understand it's painful because we make ties, emotional ties, sometimes physical ties, maybe physical ties that we shouldn't make, and those play into it, and I understand that. But there are other people out there, and you got to think about this. If y'all broke up, you probably weren't meant to be. I mean, I'm just spitballing here.
There is this thing that happens. Anytime you lose something you care about, you grieve it. You miss the person. It's hard to compare nothing to something, even if the something you had was really terrible, if the relationship you had was really terrible or toxic or abusive or just not gonna make it. But how long should you hold on to a person after the breakup? I don't know. I think a lot of times you need to go through the process, but you also need to be aware of the fact that you can't stay there.
Yeah, you don't want to give something power over your life, especially something in the past, power over your future. It's not a good place. And I think how long is probably subjective, depending on who the person is and how the length of the relationship and the depth of the relationship. But eventually you have to get over it, and holding on to it is just going to sabotage future relationships.
There's this counseling modality that suggests that bad things are going to happen to you. So far it's been right. And it also suggests that the important thing is what we do about it. What lesson do you take from it? What meaning do you ascribe from it? Because if it's just a breakup, that sucks. But if it's a breakup where you learned what kind of person you don't want to be with, or the habits that you're bringing in that you saw modeled for you ineffectively somewhere that don't belong, if you learn from it, if you grow from it, maybe it has a meaning. Maybe it's more than just a failed relationship.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. Also, think about it like this. Is it the person that you miss, or is it the relationship that you miss? The famous philosopher, John Mayer.
John Mayer.
He has a line in the song that says, is it me or the thought of me? Me or the thought of me? And it's this idea, did you really miss me, or was this thought of being with me? Like kind of the relationship. You just liked the feeling of being with me and all the things that we shared, but was it really me? And sometimes we can get caught up on missing somebody so much that it makes us depressed when you're just missing the relationship, and you can have that again with somebody else that you're probably more compatible with.
There is a thing going on in our culture right now where people are desperately searching for connections. See, there's this disease called COVID. Maybe you've heard of it. And what it caused was a lot of people to isolate, spend a lot of time connecting on their cellular phones. That's a phone. Connecting on their phones. But what it was meta connection. It wasn't true connection. And so we had a bunch of lonely people who were still talking to people daily. And if you are in a place where you are meta connected, that'll make a breakup go a lot harder as well, because fake connection isn't the same thing as talking to somebody and connecting to somebody.
Yeah. I think I'll piggyback on what you said earlier. It's very important to learn from the breakup, and I think as long as you learn from it, I think you're good. I coach basketball, and one thing I tell all my teams is we either win or we learn. We never lose, right? Because if you're learning something, you can't lose. You're learning, and I would say even if a breakup feels like a loss and you feel like you're taking an L, learn from it. Figure out, okay, what went wrong here? What can I improve on? And what do I need to look for in somebody else next time?
I think there's a statistic that I just made up that says that you're not going to marry most of the people that you date. And if you do marry most of the people that you date, you're going to get married a whole lot, and that's not healthy either. You're going to date for the most part with the knowledge that it's probably not going to be a forever relationship, and so that knowledge could hopefully help influence it. And then another thing is, if you could look at the situation and go, how long, if I were talking to someone else, should they still be in it? Should they still be stuck in the pain of the breakup? That might help to give you a more objective standpoint of, well, how long should I be really grieving this person? My 3-week relationship ended 4 years ago, and I'm just never gonna let it. It's a Harry Potter always situation. Well, I'm never gonna let it. You gotta let it go. You are choosing not to live.
Yeah.
And so keep choosing to live. And I also tell people it's okay to win the breakup. That's a concept from a show called How I Met Your Mother.
Nice.
How do you win the breakup? And how do you win a breakup? Is you keep living in spite of the fact that your relationship was over, because there are other relationships. And there's more for you out there than sad at home eating pizza and becoming physically unfit for a relationship. There's more for you than isolation. Maybe you need some help working through some of those things. Maybe a relationship ending touched something else. Maybe it brushed childhood issues or pet issues, or I don't know, you pick an issue. Jack's a therapist, a licensed one too. And you know what? So am I. Give us a call.